everyone. Today we're going to talk about sand and grit getting inside, well, underneath your bezel of your watch. It doesn't really cause any problems with the watch, but it does make the bezel a lot harder to turn. And so we'll talk about how to get that cleaned out. What we do in the shop here and what you can do at home to prevent this from happening. You can see here on this tsunami here, you can see a lot of the sand buildup around the sapphire, and what that will do is make it a little harder to turn the bezel. You have to grip it with a shirt or something like that, but that's what can cause a bezel being a little harder to turn. And this usually happens after you go out on the beach when you're really dusty weather and you don't wash it out. This has obviously been used a lot. This does not build up like this just 1 or even 10 times. It's usually quite a lot of abuse on it, but nothing that the watch can't handle. But it's just easier to wash it out after you're done with whatever activity you're doing. But right now we're going to clean this out here, and you can see all the grime on it in the sand. You see all that in here and stuff. That's all stuff that can get in here, and that just causes friction between the sapphire and the metal bezel, and that friction can cause it to not turn quite as easily as it normally would. So we're just doing to scratch all this stuff off here, off the sapphire. So now we'll just take that and clean it all off here. And there you go. That'll be much easier to turn now. There we go. That'll be much easier to turn for the customer now. Bezel back on. The bezel sometimes can get stuff in it too. Like I said, that's another reason why we should clean it out after your activity by just running water over the watch and turning the bezel. You can do this in the shower if you wear yours in the shower. Usually if you take it out to the beach, or you're already in the water anyway, so you usually have a strap on it that is waterproof, like our NATO or a bracelet or the rubber. And obviously if you have a leather strap on it, you won't be able to run it under water very easily without getting water on the leather. But most of the time, if that's the case, you won't have sand and grit in the bezel after your activity. Anyway, now the bezel's all nice and cleaned up, so and there we have it. You can see now it just turns really nice and easy here. All positive clicks in there. You can also take this opportunity to rub some soap, just regular soap. You can do some hand soap or bath soap, and you can rub on our MLC here, this loom. And if it gets a little dirty, you can always just rub it down with some soap and get that all cleaned up. Anyway, just run on the water here like this, and give us a few turns, and you get it nice and clean in there, and you're good to go. So now you've learned how to clean out your bezel. You don't want to take this apart yourself, but just easy maintenance when you're done with the beach or whatever you're doing, outdoor activity, when there's a lot of dust or sand or grit around. Just stick your wrist under the water and run fresh water from the sink over the watch, and turn the bezel as you're running it so that it washes out all the grit that's underneath there. Anyway, this one's going back to Norway, and he'll be a happy customer to get his tsunami back.